Your life problems might just need a new mindset to solve. Let me explain. Every challenge we face often stems from how we think. But what if 6 simple shifts in perspective could eliminate 90% of the problems holding you back? Too good to be true? Let's find out. First, curiosity. Think of kids. They're fascinated by everything. When was the last time you genuinely wanted to learn more about something? Staying curious doesn't just make life interesting, it refines your worldview. But why stop there? Think of curiosity as the engine of progress. Imagine a child who asks why endlessly. Why is the sky blue? Why do we need sleep? Now compare this with adults who stop questioning because they think they know enough. Staying curious keeps you learning and adapting. Steve Jobs became fascinated with calligraphy in college, which seemed unrelated to technology. But that curiosity led to beautiful typography in Apple products, revolutionizing design standards in tech. Next time you're bored, ask a simple question about something you see. Why do trees grow taller than necessary? Dive into a rabbit hole. You'll surprise yourself. Here's the second mindset. Acknowledge that you don't know everything. Sounds obvious, right? But ego often tricks us into thinking we're right. The truth? Staying humble helps you avoid misunderstandings and makes you a better decision maker. We often fall into the trap of thinking we have life figured out, which can lead to misunderstandings or missed opportunities. Staying humble and open protects us from the ego. Socrates famously said, "I know one thing, that I know nothing." This mindset allowed him to listen deeply, question assumptions, and grow wiser. Ever jump to conclusions about someone only to later discover you were wrong? Maybe you thought a colleague was lazy, but they were struggling with personal issues. Staying humble lets you learn rather than judge. Next up, get obsessed with one thing at a time. Not in a bad way, but indulge. Let it be the only thing on your mind for a day or two. When you go deep into one area, your brain starts seeing connections everywhere. It's like learning the patterns of one language and suddenly understanding bits of another. Obsessions often carry a negative connotation, but in reality, deep focus is the gateway to mastery. By focusing on one thing, you train your brain to develop patterns and spot nuances, which eventually help in other areas. Einstein, known to indulge in violin playing during his leisure time, often losing himself in the melodies. By practicing the violin, Einstein engaged and developed the right hemisphere of his brain, which is associated with creativity, pattern recognition, and intuition. And fascinating enough, his love for music directly influenced his approach to physics. Einstein himself said, "The theory of relativity occurred to me by intuition, and music was the driving force behind that intuition." The rhythmic patterns and harmonies in music honed his ability to see complex patterns in the universe, which became crucial for conceptualizing theories like relativity. Want to start coding, painting, or baking? Pick one and get consumed by it. That single-minded dedication builds confidence and teaches you how to learn anything else more efficiently. But what happens if nothing excites you? That's why the fourth shift is to learn to get excited. Look at your kids or think of something that made you pause with awe. If you're not excited, you're not seeing. Start finding wonder in small things. It has ties to curiosity back there. Passion drives effort, and effort creates momentum. Without excitement, life can feel like a grind, and even the most significant moments pass you by unnoticed. Think of a parent watching their child take their first steps. It's a small thing, but deeply exciting because they care. If you can find excitement in small milestones, you'll stay motivated. Ever tried cooking something new? If you get excited about nailing a recipe, cooking becomes less of a chore and more of an adventure. Imagine celebrating not just the end result, but the process, like discovering how dough rises or flavors blend. Now, here's where it gets tricky. Know your priorities. Ever work so hard to spend more time with family that you forgot to spend time with them? Don't let your goal become the opposite of why you started in the first place. Life is short, and we can't do everything at once. Knowing what truly matters prevents regret later on. A famous anecdote recounts Warren Buffett advising his pilot to write down 25 life goals. Then Buffett said to focus only on the top 5 and avoid the other 20 like the plague. They're distractions. Ever spent a weekend working, thinking you were being productive, only to regret not spending time with your family or resting? Set clear priorities. If family is important, let that guide your decisions consistently. Finally, know why you do what you do. Every action has a purpose, but we lose track of it. Whether it's earning money, building relationships, or pursuing dreams, remember your purpose. Otherwise, you risk letting the journey overtake the destination. Purpose gives meaning to your actions. Without it, even success can feel hollow. Ask yourself, why I want success? What is success for me? And where will it lead me once I get it? Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor, wrote in Man's Search for Meaning that having a purpose helped him survive unimaginable hardships. He believed that purpose drives resilience. Why do you work out? If it's to look good for an event, you might lose interest afterward. But if your why is staying healthy for your kids or aging gracefully, you'll stay committed. And keeps me in search of it. So, which of these 6 perspectives will you start with? Drop a comment. Maybe your curiosity has already kicked in. And since you're here, subscribe to unlock more tools to transform your thinking. Now, about that life problem. Could it just need a new mindset? Check out these other videos to see what interests you and let me know your thoughts.